Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor, your front row seat to the dumpster fire, trash fire, falling apart of society, etc. I am Joker, your humble host, and today we're going to talk about marriage and what men get out of it.
You sound insane. Do you realize that?
Yeah, we don't get anything out of it. We get a lot of headaches. We get some court battles. We used to get more out of it, but we don't get so much anymore, and we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to jump right into things. We got a lot to go over. We're going to talk about, number one, what guys want in a relationship, what women want in a relationship, and why the two shall never meet nowadays. And the reason why I thought I'd cover this topic tonight is because, before we jump into this, let me just jump in and say this. The prayer to open the 117th Congress, which is our government for 50% of you that are overseas, our government opened with a prayer, and then the ending of the prayer, they ended it with amen and a woman. Instead of saying amen, like, or amen, depending on where you're from in the country, they ended it with amen and a woman. They here, let me put it on the clip so you can hear it real quick.
By many different faiths. By many different faiths. A man and a woman. We ask.
How do you... Okay, so for those not in the know, and I didn't know this myself until several years ago when I actually asked somebody, amen or amen, depending on how you want to pronounce it, means so be it. Or I think in Hebrew it's a little different, like let it be so or may it be so from Hebrew. And there's Latin, which I guess means so be it. That's what that means. So basically they ended the Congress, ended it with let it be so and a woman. And so somebody, Ben Shapiro put it out very well. He said, amen is a biblical Hebrew word. It is a word simply meaning may it be so. It has nothing to do with the word man or woman because it is from Hebrew or Latin. I think it also has a derivative Latin. He says, this is some of the dumbest S I have ever heard in my life. And this is not, look, I'm not calling out Democrats. Okay, I'm kind of calling out Democrats on this one because this is what happens when people start going woke and start trying to make... So the rest of the day, all I could hear is videos where people are putting up like, oh, excuse me, waiter, can I get a menu? Do you mean a woman you? And, I forgot my history book at school. Do you mean a herstory? And it just went on and on and on. But I wanted to touch on that because this is our government. This is our government. We're starting 2021 off with a bang. And look at whether it was the Republicans or Democrats that did it, I'd be calling them both out because it's stupid, but it was the Democrats in this case. I almost did a video on this. This is Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. Their divorce is imminent. I'm not going to go through all the finite details, but basically, I think she lost the tingles for him. He had some pretty weird tweets. He does have some mental instability issues. And like most women, she said, I'm going to stay strong and I'm going to get him the help he needs and I'm going to be there for him. No, wait, I'm sorry. No, she didn't say that. She said, we're done and she's bailing and now she wants to be an attorney or something or other, lawyer. And so the bailing on him is imminent. And the video I did just, 6-8 months ago about Dr. Dre getting a divorce, he's now in the hospital after reportedly suffering a brain aneurysm. I'm not saying the two have anything to do with one another, but obviously it's a stressful time in your life, so you never know what happens to a guy. But, when some of you guys have said, hey, yeah, but what when you get old and you get sick and you get alone and you want family and you want to be surrounded by loved ones? Dr. Dre could have not made it. His wife wasn't by his side. She's out trying to take him for $500 million. All right, and this is the last one before I get into our main topic tonight. But this is part of it. This is part of it about women do not understand why they just don't understand how men think. And that's why they're getting everything messed up right now. Drew Barrymore, which if you go back to some of her movies, I want to say 15 years ago, Drew Barrymore was cute. Like if you go back to the Charlie's Angel era, she's got cute smile. Anyway, Drew Barrymore says she was stood up on a date after using a celebrity dating app. So now, I won't go through the whole story on this, but basically she's 45 and has 2 kids. And she said, I booked a date and he canceled on her at the time they were supposed to meet. And part of me in my head just went, yeah, happens a lot to guys. Or I'm running 15 minutes late, and there's always an excuse. Well, the girls that you might have once watched movies and said, wow, she's beautiful, or like Charlize Theron a long time ago, or Sharon Stone a long time ago, these women now, no success, no marriages, having even struggles in the dating world. So I thought I'd bring that up. Okay. So I typed into Google just for fun, what do women want in a man? What do men want in a woman? And I wanted to see the responses, and I found some lists that I think are kind of interesting I want to go over. But what women are failing to understand, and I'll touch on this as we go through the video here, is that men, what they want from a woman is very simple. But it's also something women are not providing anymore. Period. And that's why guys have gotten out of the dating. The guys that can date do. Well, let me correct that. The guys that are really super attractive and everything, they just go out and use girls. Like I said, I've got women are not comfortable posting on my forums because some of you guys are a little rough on them, and I get that. And if you're rough on them, you're rough on them. I'm not here to tell you what you can and can't say. I like having open dialogues, and I do like women that say, hey, I'm on your side and I support you guys and I think you guys are right. Because, if a woman comes out and says, I'm against womanism, the girl power movement, and you guys say to her, great, I'm on your side too, I agree with you, and she says, shut up, you probably secretly love women as feminists, you'd be like, that's not true, so don't call me out on that. So the women that comment in my forums, even if you get a little heat, I appreciate it. I know some of the guys out there are rough on you, and they're gonna be, because this is a guy's, mostly what I talk to is guys, and a lot of guys are still really angry and really frustrated with women. So if you write something in comments, you're going to get some heat. You will also get some nice comments, and if I see it, I'll try to say something like, thank you for posting. But because of that, a lot of women are sending me messages on Instagram. For the ones of you that want to flirt with me, thank you. For the ones of you that want to tell me about the guy that you really care for and all he did was use you, but you don't understand because he was a great guy, it's because he was using you. He's the guy that I tell all you women about, which is the guy that says all the right things, plays all the nice games, but he's hot and he's funny and he loves to fool around in bed, but other than that, he wants nothing to do with you. And then all of a sudden, they're shocked when he goes away. Congratulations, you're messing with a top 10 or 20 percenter. But he's got other options, so he takes those other options. Now, if you are a really loving, caring, honest, genuine, super great woman, bring it down a notch and look for somebody about the same status that you are in life. And you will find that great, awesome, funny, wonderful guy. But again, the guys that are shagging you, even if he'll do it every time you ask, or he loves the booty calls and he talks dirty, it doesn't mean he wants anything to do with you other than your body. The other half of the comments I get from the women, not quite other half, but a good number of them are, hey, I'm dating this guy, we're happy together, everything's great, but he watches, the manosphere material, and he says he'll stay with me, or he'll love me, or he'll be with me, but he's never getting married. How can I change his mind? My simple answer is, you won't and you shouldn't. And then every time they come back with, yes, but I'm good, I'm sweet, we fool around whenever he wants to. And I'm like, yeah, every girl does until you get married. Then the rules change. Then things change. Not all the time, but enough that I do jokes about and I do videos and I do articles about how women hate their husbands after 8 years and end up stepping out on him and leaving him, even though he's great and he's supportive and he's loving and he's kind and things are fine in the bedroom, but I miss the tingles or I miss the butterflies, and so I left. Now, what does the guy get on the back end of that? Well, we're going to talk about that. So Here's what every man wants in a woman, and these are not all accurate, but I think they're pretty close. And this is what women need to understand. They say, oh, well, why aren't men getting married? A guy wants to be deeply attracted to you. Period. End of statement. Now, what do you do if you're a guy like myself that does not like big girls? Now, a couple extra pounds, man, I get it. I put on a couple extra pounds every time of year. We're not talking perfection. But there is a point in time where you want a woman's chest and a woman's butt to be the two probably, and maybe nice, little bit wider hips, that nice hourglass figure. You want the hourglass figure. You don't want the apple figure. You see where I'm going? There's a certain point in time where you start falling outside of what at least I find attractive. Well, now that's like 70 or 80% of women. Just like that. And there's a lot of guys that are like me. Just like women do not like, guys that are shaped like a potato genuinely. Now, some of them say, yes, I like my guy to be hairy and big beard and a big old teddy bear. Great, but that is not the vast majority of women. So the fact that 60% of men and 60% of women are overweight, that makes the selection for both people smaller. But then when guys say, man, I need to work on this, if they're really interested in dating or they're really interested in their own, health, they'll say, okay, I got to get to the gym and fix this. Some women do too, but a lot of women say, body positivity movement, I'm happy, and you should be happy with my body too. That's not deep attraction. So that's number one, deep attraction. Number two, he wants to be able to share his passions with you. That's his hobbies. That's the thing he likes to do. Okay, that's a simple one. Number three, he wants a good listener. This is where I disagree. Look, we could sit here and for 6 hours, I may not talk to you. It doesn't mean that I don't like you. It doesn't mean that I don't care about what's going on in your world. I mean, I don't, most generally. But it means that I'm just not a chatty Cathy. I do all my talking here to you guys. This is all the talking I do all day. I don't even make phone calls unless it's, to the doctor or dentist or something like that. That's it. So it's not that he wants a good listener. He just wants somebody that's going to at least let him share ideas or have a good conversation with. That's what I think would be more accurate, is he wants a good conversationalist. Because some of the best dates I've ever had and some of the best relationships I've had, I'd talk to the girl like I would talk to my best friend, the guy friend. We just have great talks about everything. He wants someone to share his goals and dreams. Yeah, having a long-term plan that's the same is a good idea. He wants a woman who has dreams and goals for herself. Yeah, a woman that's got her own priority or her own dreams and her own aspirations. I think that's great. He wants a woman he's compatible with. And that goes back to he wants a good listener, or he wants someone that's passionate with the same passions that he has. I think that's kind of the same. He wants a woman he can have great bedroom fun with, obviously. Not all. Again, a lot of guys are like, I'll take it or leave it. Other guys are like, can't live without it. And other guys are like, I get it when it's good. And 8, he wants a woman with a great vibe, which again would go back to kind of being a great conversationalist or that he's compatible with. So when you boil this down, it really comes to like 4 or 5 things. Guys want someone that's going to understand what's important to them. They want someone that is going to be reliable and trustworthy to them. They're going to want someone with the bedroom fun and to keep that portion of that going. Again, if it's important to the guy. But for the vast majority of men, most guys would be like, would you want to do it every day? And most guys would be like, yeah, every day, every other day. I'd be fine. I'd be great with that. But that's not what happens. And they want to be respected. They want to be supported. And they want someone they can hang out with and have a good conversation. They really want like the way they get along with their guy friends, but also someone they like seeing undressed and fooling around with. That's really what it boils down to. The problem that we're having today is that women are not trustworthy. Women are not reliable. Women are, I don't give an F about what your hobbies are or whatever. There is no great vibe. It's attitude. It's my way or the highway, or if you don't like it. The attraction is tough because, again, a lot of women are not understanding what men find attractive. And it's different for all men, again, but guys don't sit there and go, oh, redhead, I'd never date a redhead. Oh, brunette, I'd never date a brunette. Oh, she's a 5'2" and not at least 5'5", I'd never date her. Oh, she's only got B cups instead of D cup. Oh, I'd never. You notice that's not how guys are. Guys look and they just go, you know what? She's really cool. She's cute. I'd like to make out with her. I'd do her. Yeah, we'll go on a date. That's how simple men are. But then women complicate it with all this other crap, all this other unreliability, all this other attitude. I'm a strong woman. Guys don't want that. If a dude was like, yeah, man, I don't have any friends. I'm a strong man. I'm just too alpha for them. Get out of here. That guy's not going to have any friends either. So it's the attitude, and just women just don't understand how simple men are. But in the same token, they don't understand how hard they make it, I think. So let's look at a lit. Now, I did, when I Googled this, I didn't Google, I DuckDuckGo'd it. When I web searched this, I pulled up the second, third link on each page, and I just did it blindly. And this was one that came up on what do men want in every woman. And here's what women want in every man. Now, I'm not going to read all the subjects. I'm just going to read through the highlights. What women want in a relationship, 30 plus things you should know. Now, the men's was 8, and I boiled it down to 5. You could probably take these 30 and boil them down too. But again, it's just kind of like there's so many vast differences, and women always seem to want so much more. They want love and affection. That's the foundations. A bit of admiration can do wonders. A husband addicted to her. She needs attention. That's also addiction. A partner who is a friend. Encouragement to follow her dreams. A bond of equals. Bedroom satisfaction. A shoulder to cry on. Understanding and forgiveness. A husband who supports her with a yes. Attracts her with good looks. This is what the guy needs to do. Attracts her with good looks, manners, and attitude. Pays for her pays for her necessities and luxuries too. Has a kind heart. Gives her respect. Is honest with her. Is sensitive to her feelings. Is matured. Keeps up the promises. Listens to her. Believes in her. Wears his confidence, makes her feel safe, expresses love for her, surprises her from time to time, gives her space, never forgets birthdays or anniversaries, is 50-50 parent, handles her tantrums, gets excited about holidays, never checks her phone or emails, in case she's got a boyfriend on there, loves her family, watches TV with her, enjoys her cooking, everything is for her, do everything for her, do it for me, her, do it for her. Now let's go back to the guy's list. He wants to share his passions, his hobbies with you. He wants someone that's a good communicator. He wants someone to share, like, long-term goals. He wants someone to share a bed with him and have fun with him in that bed. He wants someone who's compatible with. He wants a woman with a great vibe that he gets along with her. Let's go back to this other list. Her, addicted to her, has a kind heart, that's fine. Gives her respect, I'm okay with that. Is honest with her, that's fine. Is sensitive to her feelings, great. Matured, great. Keeps up promises to her, great. We want the same thing, though, as guys. He's got to listen to her, that's fine. He's got to believe in her, too. And he's got to motivate her. And he's got to wear his confidence and make her feel safe and express his love for her. And surprise her, and this, and. So where does this come down to? What's happened right now is guys still want simplicity. Guys want easy street. If someone were to ask me, hey, Joker, I'm an incredibly attractive woman, and it is my dream to be with an amazing man like you, I'd ask her to please put away whatever illicit substances she's taking and perhaps not imbibe of alcohol at the degree that she is. But if that were to come forth, I always tell them, it's simple. Share a bedroom with me, or share a bed with me. Have a little bit of bedroom fun. Good communications. We got to like the same things. We get along. You don't cheat and you don't lie. You keep it real. And here's the big thing. Communication. A lot of times women say, oh, I left him. Why? Well, because of this problem and this problem and this problem and this problem. And they say, oh, well, how often did you guys talk about it? Well, I mentioned it like 3 years ago, and he just didn't listen. This is what talking's about. It's about communication. As much talking as women like to do, they're very much not good at communicating their problems on a rational level with men. They tend to get upset with guys. And we all know this because it's like, honey, what's wrong? Nothing. Oh, okay then. Well, I just find it's funny that they go off on their tirade on you. But it got to the point of a tirade where guys are like, hey, that bugs me when you do that. That's what a guy says. If I'm hanging out with one of my buddies and he says something that really bothers me, I'll be like, dude, let's not go there. Like that's not cool. And he's like, oh, my bad, man. Okay. Or if we disagree, we'll have a talk about it. But we don't sit there and, argue and stand up and point at each other. And the last thing I'll leave it off with here is the truth about why some men are single. And this is a little bit an older article. It's about 2 years ago, but I think it still holds up. This somebody went and made a post on Reddit, and some psychologists actually came in and kind of broke it up and wrote an article about it. And what the simple question they asked is men, why do you stay single? I think that's, what is it? Let me see if I can find the exact title. I lost it in the darn quote here, or in the text already. Oh, okay, here it is. It says, guys, why are you single? And he broke it down. And I want to read the breakdown to you, because it's not for the reasons you necessarily think. Because a lot of times people say, oh, guys don't want to get married because of heartbreak, or they've had their heart broken. Or guys don't want to get married because they're intimidated by strong women. I love that one. But here's what the breakdown comes down to. He says, so suppose we were to take the Reddit responses seriously, along with the author's coding of them. Did the results really show that men generally do not want to be single? Well, to come up with a scientist took and broke it up into 43 different categories. And the 43 categories, this is what he says about it. To come up with his 43 categories of reasons for being single, the author and his research team imposed their own order on the Reddit responses. That guy's name was Apostolou. Apostolou did not use any statistical techniques to try to determine objectivity, how many separate categories he really did have. Here are the 4 most popular categories of reasons for staying single, according to Apostolou's coding and the number of responses coded in each of these categories. He quoted this, and this is another professor, some study guy that wrote a book on this stuff. He cited poor looks as 662 responses, low self-esteem or confidence as 544 responses, low effort is 514 responses. Not interested in relationships, 424 responses. So out of that, it sounds like there's 2,000 responses where guys say, I'm not good enough looking, I have low self-esteem or low confidence or low effort. And then only about 400 out of those 2,000 were not interested in relationships. But this is what this particular study says about it. Looking a bit more closely at the list of reasons, I noticed other categories indicating that some men want to be single. One of them, number 17, is called enjoying being single. It has 217 responses. Adding those 217 responses to the 424 who said they were not interested in relationships gives us a total of 641 comments from men who seem to want to be single. That comes in a close second to the 662 who cited poor looks. I kept looking at the list. Another category is different priorities, meaning the men cared more about other goals such as establishing their career or getting good grades. At least for the moment, they're not trying to become unsingle, or in other words, dating. If we add them to the 662, we would have 500 or 858 responses. And all of a sudden, the number one reason for being single for the guys that responded to this guy thread of guys, why do you want to be single? The number one reason for being single would be that men want to be single. I'm not saying this is the best way to code the responses. You could look at the categories different ways, but this is pretty much what he's coming up with. And this, I'm going to post this down below, and you can read through this, and it's a really good read. But what it's starting to boil down to is that guys are liking being single. You know, when you take away, we can talk about divorce court. That's wrecks men. And we can talk about child custody, and that wrecks men. But let's take that out of the equation for a minute. Let's just say, what if you could get married, and when you got divorced, the guy kept his stuff or half of everything they had together, and the woman kept an equal half of what she brought to the relationship, and child custody was split 50-50 with no child care either direction. It's just a split right down the middle, fair and square. A lot of you guys might say, I might give it a go if I met the right girl. But a lot of guys are still saying, no, I'm good. And why? Because they realize that what they have to give up as far as their hobbies, their passions, what the money of the couple needs to go to. I don't know if you've ever watched Instagram photos or some of these stupid Facebook posts where a woman's like, oh, we just redid our bedroom and it's beautiful, and it's got these lavish curtains and a vase over here with beautiful fresh cut flowers, and they've got 18 pillows on the bed, and an antique chair and not really Victorian, but a Victorian mock-up of the. And guys look at that room and go, well, it looks pretty foofy, kind of expensive. How often do you sleep in that room? Oh, it's a guest room. My parents use it 1 week a year. Guys would be like, have the parents stay in a hotel, man. That'll make a great den. I can make a great workshop in it, whatever. It's the long-term goals of people are splitting. Now, if you would ask me, Joker, would you ever be in a relationship again? Here's the interesting thing. I often say, don't long-term date, don't cohabitate, don't get married. But if I met somebody that was interesting and fun to hang out with, and we had fun in the bedroom and everything else worked great, I'd hang out with them for a while. I have no problems with doing that. It's been roughly about 3 years since I've met anybody even close to what I'm looking for. Even close. Now, it doesn't mean I wouldn't say yes to a date or anything like that, but my point is that the reason why I don't is, what are my long-term goals? No one has my long-term goals. No one ever will. Not many people want to live in a shelled-out school bus that is now smells like cedar and a pine or a fireplace cooking right now pine, because they don't have any hardwoods around. And pine is a miserable wood to put in a wood stove. Let me just put that out there. But not many people would want to pile in a small bus and travel around the country with me. And this bus only has one bed. It has one seat, the one I'm sitting in, and it has one driver's chair. Dog sleeps on the floor. There's not seating in here for more than one person. That's how sure I am that it's just going to be me. And I'm glad it's that way. See, so when men say, you know what, I'm not against dating. I'm not against meeting somebody, but they have to meet my criteria now. That doesn't mean that they want to give up their being single. They're happy to casually date somebody and keep their own residence and keep their own hobbies and keep their own friends and keep their own job and keep whatever. And this way there is no, but sweetheart, this is really important to me and you need to change. Because we know what it's, the guys that have been in relationships, they know what it's like to be in the doghouse. You forget an anniversary, you forget a birthday, you didn't notice her new haircut, she got her nails done at the hair salon and you didn't see it and you didn't call attention to it. It's fight time. It's attitude time. It's anger time. And women say, well, I don't do that. I may not do it every single time, but if a guy, you know how many times I get told happy birthday? I've gotten more happy birthdays. It's not my birthday now. It was back in October, but I've had more people tell me happy birthday or thank me or just be kind to me from this forum underneath this video than I have from every other relationship I've ever had with somebody else. Because so many people are worried about themselves. And I'm not saying that worrying about yourself is a bad thing. I think it is the new normal. I think it has to be the new normal. Women have turned it into, it's about me, it's about my success, my choices, my body, my whatever. I'm free and powerful and I can do whatever I want and men can have no say about it. So men say, okay, I agree with you and I'm going to do the same thing. And then women get upset because they say, why aren't men asking us out anymore? Guess what? Men have been asking, why can't I get a date for a decade or more? Some of us as in some of us guys, some of us guys have never been successful in dating. Are they going out and trying to change society to align with their views? No, they have to view their line with the society, which is, man, I just don't have it. Like, it's not going to happen for me. I guess I'm just not going to get a girlfriend. But when it comes around the other way, now women are saying, well, why don't men want to get married? And to the ones that I've responded here on Instagram, I tell them, there's nothing that a man gets. Nothing improves for a man. Nothing is better for a man the moment he says, I do. Oh, but I'll cook and clean. And you'll probably complain about it. Guess what? I'm the best cook that has ever been in any relationship I've ever had. I'm the best cook. I don't know if you've seen a lot of these women's selfies that they take in their bedrooms or their bathrooms. Their houses a lot of times are a wreck. I keep my house a lot neater than that. So you're certainly not good at cooking, and you're certainly not good at cleaning. Oh yeah, but I'll be super supportive. I don't need support. I'm good. But I'll be willing to listen to. And I talk to my dog or talk to myself. But I'll be your friend. I've got guy friends. But I've got my motorcycle. And I'm not just saying this for me. I'm saying this. This is what guys are saying, and you guys are saying the same thing. We're good. So then women come around and they say, well, then what do men want from women? Just like I said on the list, they want companionship. They want some bedroom fun. They want someone that won't cheat on them, someone won't lie on them, someone that has long same-term goals. But if they do, then spend time with them. Just spend time with a guy. Date him. Because you know what marriage means? Nothing. It means nothing. It hurts the guy. It's basically like indentured servitude for the guy. Because if a guy's unhappy and he's married and he leaves, he loses everything. Loses a lot of his assets, might pay custody or alimony. He has to pay. And who leaves most of the time? The women. You know, and again, depending on the country you're in, 60 to 80% of the time women file for divorce. So they're the ones that are filing the most. They're the ones that are really pushing for marriage, and they're the ones that win after a marriage ends. It's a con game. It's a joke. So you know, the women that have written me and said, I really love him and he cares about me. How do I get him to marry me? You don't. Not if he's smart. And if you want to keep him, be good to him and keep being good to him and forever be good to him and keep yourself in the shape that he likes. And support him. But you know something? If he starts getting fat, if he starts treating you poorly, if he starts having an attitude, you can just as easily walk out. The difference is you don't win cash and prizes when you leave. You leave on equal terms. So keep your job. If you're a strong and powerful, empowered woman, and I make good money, good. Keep your job. Better keep working. He'll keep working. That way, when you decide to bail on him, you've got your job, you've got your money, you take your things, and you just, since you shouldn't be living together anyway, just fill your knapsack full of stuff and leave. That's how easy breaking up is. But when it's a divorce and a guy gets unhappy because she's gained 50 or 100 pounds, but that 50 and 100 pounds, and he says, I want to break up with my wife because she's gained weight, or she's got an attitude, or she treats me poorly, or he weighs all those ors against money, losing my house, losing my kids, losing everything. It's a man trap. And I did a video about the man trap. But I want to talk about this again because, again, it's the beginning of New Year and there's a lot more of you subs in here. So women, if you want to keep your men, number one, don't date the player guys that everybody else also wants to date. Because I'll tell you right now, you're sharing him. You're never going to lock it down, no matter how good you are to him. And what happens is this guy will be, hitting it up with you, sleeping with another girl, and he's got enough time maybe to sleep with 2-3 girls. I hope you're being safe and using something, because otherwise, petri dish is all I'm saying on that. And what'll happen is he'll meet one that's more interested. So he's got 1, 2, and 3. First place, second place, third place. And he's going to meet a new girl that's also fun and cute and whatever. Third place goes away. So if you were third place, you're gone. And now you got one, first place, second place, third place. And then he meets someone new. Now he's got a new first place and a second place, and the old third place goes away. All he does is rotate. How do I know this? Because I know guys that did it. I was a guy that tried to do it when I was in my 20s. I never had a serious relationship when I was in my early 20s. It was just meeting women, but the difference is I never said I love you. I never said I promise you this or I'll do that. No, I always said up front, I'm not into long-term dating. I'm just into casual. I've been burned before. I don't want to be burned again. I like being single. It's not going to change. And then the women are like, okay, fine, we have some fun. And then what happens? They want something serious, and the guy says, no, I told you it was not that. And they're like, horrible, men are pigs, men are awful. He warned you. But they keep chasing after those 20%. So women, no matter what you do with those 20%, or 10% or 5%, whatever they are, they're going to leave you high and dry at some point. They're the narcissistic jerks. They're out there. Now, what about all the other nice guys, the great guys, the ones that would in the past have dedicated their lives to you and made you a happy wife and home? They're done. They're done with it. You guys burn that bridge. Courts did it. Judges did it. Society has done it. Y'all have you guys did it to yourself. So what's your only saving recourse? Your only saving recourse to have a great guy is to be a great woman to a great guy. And if you guys are great to each other, you should stay together. But marriage gives the guy nothing. It gives him golden handcuffs. It pins him to the ground. It doesn't give him any more benefits. It gives him less. He's now enslaved, as it were. But without it, again, and this goes both ways. This goes the same, and this is why I'm not a proponent of marriage anymore. Now, if you're very conservative and you definitely want to meet the right person, you say you're going to have a family, I'm still not a proponent of it. If you want to have kids, that's the only exception I give to this, is if it's really important for you to have kids in a family unit, because I don't like single parent and unwed, parents. I would really like a couple that is together. But if you do that, and either one of you wants to split up in the meantime, stay together until that kid's 18 and off to college. Knuckle down and bear through. And this is my advice. I'm not a parent, so I don't know. But I'm saying for the good of society, raise that kid right. That kid is our next generation. We're going to need good kids in this upcoming generation, let me tell you. But men and women, date long term if you want to, if that's right for you. Each keep your own separate places. Each of you keep your own jobs. Each of you keep your own bank accounts. You keep everything separate. And if you really care for each other, great. Live across the street from each other. Live next door to each other. I don't really mean that. I'm just saying better that than even living in the same house. Because after you break up, you'll have to see each other every day, and that would be horrible. But, just marriage isn't it. Marriage is not it. Not it. It's a scheme that provides for women on the breakup. They're the ones that do the breakup. It gives nothing to men, and it takes away their choices. The bedroom always slows in a relationship, almost always. I do know a couple of exceptions, some friends of mine that said the exceptions, but it almost always slows. So what happens when I say, darling, I want to be romantic more often, and she goes, I'm just not interested in that anymore. When you're married, you're stuck. When you're not married, you break up. If she gains 50 pounds or he gains 50 pounds and you're not attracted to him anymore, you break up. And it should be as simple as stuffing a duffel bag or maybe a small suitcase with your things, and that's it. It's over. Now, the reason why you don't live together is cohabitation and all the other problems that can come up with that stuff, because once again, you're getting the court involved. See, the minute you get the court and the legal system and all that stuff involved in a relationship, guys, you will lose. So that's why you live apart, don't cohabitate. And look at the case in Canada. What was it? I don't know how long they dated for. They never lived together. They kept their own separate places, and the guy was still on the peg for paying stuff for her. I did a video about it 5-6 months ago or something like that. So there's even cases where guys have done this and they still got wrung to dry. So what do you do? Sleepovers? This is girls. This is on you. This is all on you. And until the girls change the court system, until the girls step up and complain about this stuff, because I don't hear any mass movements about women saying no 50-50 custody, I'm going to take my fair share. I do not hear that happening in a tidal wave of news stories. No, I can't believe this. Women are walking away with half, or women are saying, I don't need anything, I'm good, I'm on my own, and they leave their husbands. Never happened. Never happened. All right, now let's do our dating profiles of the day. I actually have two for you again. Since you guys are loving these so much, as long as you keep sending them in, as long as I can find enough of them, I'll increase this a little bit. I'll make my regular video a little bit shorter, and I'll do more of these since you guys are having so much fun with it. I am just the dancing guy up here for your entertainment. This is a gal. She is 50 years old. She is a teacher. She says, hi, gentlemen. I'm looking to date a guy that is... Okay. This is what we call a shopping list. Now, normal people put up a list that says, I am this person, and if you're right for me, please swipe on me. But no, she puts up a shopping list for you to hope that you can be with her. Hi, gentlemen. I'm looking to date a guy that is between the ages of 35 and 51. Nothing over 51, please. She's 50. Nothing over 51. Now, guys do this. I do it on a dating app. I put younger, but As a woman, she's doing the same, 50, and she wants 35 to 51. Okay? 5'10" or taller. I wish I had my shocking button up here because I could go lightheaded with the number of times I could say shocking. So number 3, she's Caucasian or non-Hispanic men. I hope I get this right, but I'm sorry, mis amigos. No coño for you. I hope I pronounced that right for you fellas. Number 4, financially stable. Lives within 50 miles or less, can accept a child, age 12, confident and funny, faithful and trustworthy. No drugs, no smoking, casual, minor drinking. If you're looking for a friends with benefits or don't like curvy, thicker girls, please keep looking. DM me if you'd like to talk. So instead of, and this is very popular, I'm seeing this more and more on a lot of dating apps. Instead of, like for me, for example, I'd say I'm this, and I like doing this, and I like doing this. And you just put it out there. Like an ad, like a shop, like an ad. They're putting it out now like shopping lists. Like, don't even look at me unless you're this. That's how picky they are. You know why? Because if they just put out who they were, they might get some undesirables contacting them and wasting their precious time because, you see, they only take the best of the best. So let me just put a list out there so they don't waste their time talking to people that aren't of their caliber. All right, and number 2. This one I got a good laugh out of. She's honest, I'll give her that. She's 46. She says, average looking, middle-aged, fat, and honest. I'm there with you. Like, that is refreshing to hear. She says, I'm dreaming of meeting a Brad Pitt lookalike for dating and more. She is average looking, middle-aged, fat, and honest. At least she's being honest about it. Dreaming of meeting a Brad Pitt lookalike for dating and more. No sprogs. I don't know what that is, and I don't care enough to Google it or web search it. No ex-husbands. So anybody that's been married and divorced by 46. That's quite a few guys. Looking for dating. Now, here's a follow-up. She said, space down below this. OMG. Oh my God. Why is it so difficult? Talk, meet, no games. Simple. Talk, meet. Oh, okay. She didn't put any punctuation in there. Oh my God. Why is it so difficult? Talk, meet, no games. Simple. And the very last line on this is what made this such a wonderful dating profile for the day. Hello? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Now, here's the thing. If you're a good-looking guy, pretty good-looking guy, and you go, okay, I'm pretty good-looking. Well, let's see. She's 46, average-looking, middle-aged, fat, and honest. Well, But if you're an average guy, and you maybe got a couple of pounds on you, and you look and it says, dreaming of meeting Brad Pitt. Well, that is not me, so I'm not even going to try to match with her. And they swipe left. No ex-husbands. I'm divorced. Looking. I'll swipe left. Again, putting a list out there. Oh my God, why is it so difficult? Because you want to date Brad Pitt, and you're I don't even know a good Miss Piggy. You're Miss Piggy, and you want to date Brad Pitt. And at the bottom of this, hello, question mark, question mark. She didn't get a darn match on here. Now she knows what it feels like to be a guy on a dating app. Hello? Is there anyone on here other than scammers and bots? All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Our takeaway today is, here's a message for the ladies that do watch me. You can find a guy to marry you. Is he going to be a great guy? I don't know. Is he going to be a guy worth it? I don't know. Is he going to be a guy that's confident and strong and handsome and abled? And maybe. But there's no guarantees. But you're not going to get the top 10 or 15% of men. You're not going to get them to marry you. Why? Because they're dating everybody and they're sleeping with everybody and they're having a great time. And they do not want to settle down and lose that great time. And the other remaining 85%, a lot of the guys are just saying, I'm used to being single. It's been hard to get a date on dating apps. It's been hard to get attention. I'm used to being alone. Now I kind of like it. Remember what Tom Hardy said. Be careful of spending all your time alone. You may come to love it. And that's what's happening. And now guys are saying, you know what? I'd love to hook up with a woman. I'd like to have a little fling, a little short-term romance. That's great. And women says, well, I want forever. Guys are like, nope, not in. You get a little bit of time with me or none at all. And what women are finding is it's a little bit of time with this guy, a little bit of time with this guy, and no guy will commit. Why? Because they wait too long, they don't put themselves forward in the right light, and they don't put in any effort, and then they expect men to come tripping over their feet at them. It's just not happening anymore, I'm telling you.